It's fine. It's why he's our exploding duck.
Shut up, Legion.
The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast.
Go and gratify yourself in the corner.
Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
That's going to be a drop right there.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast, episode 296. Joining me across the pond is the dynamic dog, Goofy, also known as...
Brett. And holding a microphone in a flat down by the river. Oh, sorry.
Not in a flat anymore.
Is the evil leader of Disney, aka Mickey.
Hot diggity dog.
Legion, and I am apparently the angry host, Donald. But, you know. I can't do it now. Nope, I can't do it.
Bravo, sir.
Bravo.
Anyway, that's all I can do.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad I made you swallow choke on your tea anyway. So that's an achievement.
Yep. Way to go. Way to go.
Oh, that was amazing.
I don't know. You sound a bit unenthused by that bit, actually. Or
I don't know.
I'm so impressed. So impressed. So, I mean, ChatGPT is going to have to work really hard to one up that intro right there. That's all I'm saying.
Oh well.
Oh dear, that's amazing.
Clearly going in the best of them, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, in this podcast, we have some news from I want to say Big Finish Day. Is that correct?
Hooverville.
Oh, Whooverville. And then we have obviously the August reviews, and then this is going to be I'm going to sidestep the main hosting positions because this is a Liam heavy podcast because he's the man with all the news and info. So, I guess with
not
that,
only has he done the intro,
yeah,
he's got to ramp up the charisma.
I know.
Best be rolling a natural D20, my friend.
Anyway, how should we start? Well, should we do Whoville first and go from there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Both a friend of the podcast who is I guess fairly credible source went to Hooverville and had a fairly long chat with Sonny or Jake McGann. We've found out some interesting tidbits, I guess, about the goings on and inside doings of Big Finish and a bunch of, I suppose, bits of info and people and all that good stuff. Right, you'll have to remind me of some of the info because I was a fair bit. So
I went to take a screenshot of it, and because I thought you typed it up, and I guess you did. I can't find the type up, so I'll have to check while you're talking. But I cannot find the type up of all the stuff that you discussed, so I'll be looking. But
it was on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
First bit of info from Big Finish is apparently the number one topic of conversation in the office, apparently, according to Jake McGann, is that Big Finish are trying to figure out a way of going to a more subscription-based model. So it looks like they are phasing out CDs. And I hope they stick to a download model, but it looks like they are trying to figure out a subscription-based service.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, what is your thoughts? Because I finally found it. I had to scroll a lot, but I finally found it. And I know
did we chat that much? Christ.
Yeah, we have. I have thoughts, and I'm actually excited about this. And I know you immediately, let's just see. So you did this, and I was like, I can't remember what I said, but I'm like, I'm all for subscriptions. And then you're like, nah, I'm not really. If they're going to allow you to listen to the app, then it will lose a lot of listeners. And I don't think Legion, but I'm all for it. I do have other reasons why I'm all for it, but why are you against it? I will say I have a mini caveat of what I want from Big Finish should they go into subscription model.
I'm not against it, but I think if they get rid of the download option from the website, I think then I will be against it, because I don't listen to stuff on the phone. I do occasionally and have done in the past if I'm traveling, but I don't genuinely really listen to my releases on the phone. I listen to it from the computer. I put it into a media player and listen to it that way, because I listen to it on speakers. So I don't want to be able to lose that functionality. Plus, I don't want to have to tether my phone to my laptop to stream it, and basically just have everything from my phone, because I want my phone for my phone, So that's my main reason for not liking that kind of model, personally. I can see where it's useful and it does have its benefits, sure. But I feel having that flexibility of choice is, of having both the download option and the option of, okay, yeah, I'm traveling, I want to put something on my phone, listen to it that way, I think is good. So I think if they get rid of the download option, I think that will lose a lot of people, because not everybody listens to the stuff through the app.
That is
from
true.
what I can tell. Legion,
what about yourself, Legion?
So I very much get where the subscription plan comes from, because everybody's doing subscriptions these days, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah, of course, totally.
Now, you are one of the probably 10% that doesn't listen using their phone. The majority will come from listening from the Big Finish app. I'm one of them. I listen to it 90% through the app. I think, Brett, you're the same, aren't you?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So many people do it. However, the caveat here being is they will get rid of CDs. We know that's coming, and will lose a massive subscriber base, because let's be honest, we Doctor Who fans, we're hoarders. We like our physical media.
We do, yeah.
That's going to piss off a lot of people.
Yep.
If you're then going to piss them off even more and basically segregate those that download and archive on their own machines,
which I
and
do.
just say you have to use this app, that's going to annoy so many people. So I get why they're doing it, but I think they would be idiots for doing it.
Yeah.
Do you think they will or not?
Yes, I do, because I think their management currently is in a bit of a state. I appreciate they have to modernize. They very much have to modernize, and they have to change the business model, because the business model they've currently got, which they changed because they said it was going to improve everything,
hasn't worked.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Hasn't.
I mean,
it's almost like, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I would happily pay $12.99 a month to Big Finish and get one release a month, as long as I could download it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what we could call it?
The monthly range?
Yeah, not that I'm bitter. But, you know...
lies, sir, lies.
Lies. It's cheaper than Netflix, that.
Yeah.
$12.99, you get one release.
Oh, my God, yeah, it's crazy.
You know, if they get a subscription release, they would have to sweeten the deal. They would have to make it better than the...
Yeah. Do you know, speaking
garbage is the wrong word. Lackluster releases we've had recently.
Yeah. Do you know, speaking of subscription models and services, right, I was astounded to find out, guess how much, right, the family subscription for Spotify is in Nigeria?
€2,766. I know they don't use euro.
No.
£1.50
for 6 people.
Oh, I mean...
Wow.
A month. A month.
You're talking about Nigeria, where they probably don't have...
Oh, I know it's all relative, and I know that the money is obviously lower and whatever, and the cost of living is a lot lower, but they get a lot less. But I mean, just put that into perspective.
Okay, well, you move to a third world country and then grab a subscription for £1 a month. Okay, I think that will kind of like even things out.
Or get a VPN and really shit download speeds.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, but this is what I mean. But you do think, and it does make you think and wonder, though. Okay, so if places like Nigeria are getting, prices for 6 people for like £1.50, how do companies like Spotify? I mean, are we then paying a premium because of that? Like, it doesn't make you wonder.
It's called capitalism, my friend.
Oh, I know.
Go where the money grows.
But that's what I mean. Are they purposely increasing our prices in the West to cover that that outlay?
No. So the market over there is so minuscule because it is a third world country compared to the Western world that it's not even a drop on their radar. I bet less than 5% of their earnings comes from the African subcontinent.
Yeah.
Well, no, Africa is a continent. Africa and then the Indian subcontinent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me personally, and I'm not even going to talk about Spotify because I actually don't care. Regarding the whole,
tell it like it is, mate.
Well, I do. I don't actually care. I found it so odd that Liam was just like, "Okay, I'm going to pick the oddest scenario in a third world country, and I'm going to complain about that." Like, it's just.
I wasn't complaining. I was just comparing and just like surprised at the price difference. I guess.
But it's not a comparison.
Yeah,
it's not a realistic comparison.
Now, if it was Northern Ireland compared to the UK mass, then you might have something going on. But anyway, here's my thoughts for the subscription model, and I'm for it, and I can also make a case for not. And I would like, because I know Disney is in the process of doing away with all physical media, which will hurt their bottom line. Oh, yeah. They're starting with, I believe, Australia. I think Australia going forward is not going to be getting any brand new physical DVD, Blu-ray stuff. And then it's just going to go out from there. And so the only place that you can actually watch the new Disney stuff will be through Disney Plus. And for me, as somebody who kind of like what Legion says about physical media, I like collecting it, I like owning it. And because of, people are fearful of what you did yesterday and then comparing it to today's values, I am kind of worried that things are going to be cut, clipped, deleted, and that's what you kind of get for your subscription model. Whereas if you own it, they can cut, clip whatever you want. You own it, and as long as you don't either crack the CD or you delete the original file, it is as it always has been. And so I would like a option of buying things and owning the either downloadable file or the CD file with an additional subscription model. Because I think the nice thing about a subscription model is it's all open and you can listen to anything at any time. And I'm dealing with massive corruption because I took all of my files because my 2 terabyte external hard drive did not have enough room for all of the Big Finish stuff that I had. So I converted it over to an 8 terabyte whatever. And the process ended with so many corrupt files. So I now have to re-download so many other things. And it has been like a thorn in my side since I did it probably about in May of this year. So
the answer, my friend, is a cloud-based service.
Yeah, I'm not interested in paying $20. I like being able to own it and have it, and I don't want to pay $20 a month for a cloud-based, 100 terabytes, 1,000 terabytes, or whatever that is good until I accidentally stop paying for it. And then they're like, oh, sorry, bye-bye, all the stuff because, my credit card changed or something like that. I'm not going to be at the whim of an accident. So, I've already had an accident and it is manageable. So, but then I will say I'm slightly paranoid, but it's okay. So I want it both ways. I want a purchase individual stuff, and I also would like a, subscription model. I think it would be beautiful if Big Finish would do what DC Comics did with their comic app. People had a week to jump on a year subscription. And when you got it, you have been grandfathered in to only paying $99 a year. And if the price goes up somewhere else, nope, sorry, you jumped in at this point in time. And as long as you keep paying this $9.99 a year or $99 a year, you will always pay $99 a year whenever it comes back up because you got it at this time. Whereas everybody else who came in later is up for the whole, guess what? Price gone up to $150. I'm still locked in at $99 for eternity. And so I would love for Big Finish to do that, but I'm not holding my breath for that. I'm probably assuming something similar to, Disney Plus, Netflix, whatever, where it will be $15.99 a month, and then it will, a couple of years later, it'll go up in price. But I like what you said also, Legion, regarding the physical media, because I think what they need to do is continue with the physical media, take it to, Forbidden Planet, and make sure that on the cover of any new thing being printed, saying, if you'd like to listen to more, buy further releases physically, or go to the Big Finish website and get a monthly, yearly subscription. I think that would be the beautiful way to go because you have people still buying the physical media, which, costs money, but also makes money at the same time, and then kind of funneling them to a specific place. I think that would be the smartest thing.
I think only time will tell with this one what happens. Do I think it could be the nail in the coffin for Big Finish? Potentially.
Do you think that would happen? Do you think it could kill it off? Do you think that?
Well, currently, I'm not sure how many UK-based subscription things there are set up, but I've been hearing rumors that HBO Max and a couple other places, because now there's an MGM Plus app, and there's also
we've got that over here.
They got Paramount Plus app. They have this app. They have this app, and I've been hearing rumors that the main guy in charge of HBO Max and Discovery are working on reaching out to MGM or whatever and kind of bundling them. So you can still buy these apps individually, but the features, the best deal will be getting them in a bundled package.
Yeah.
And so, it could help, it could hurt. It'll be interesting to see if, the BBC can works a deal with this somehow, or I don't know. It's an interesting situation though.
What's next on the docket? Tom Baker has recorded up to 2030.
We are basically having Tom Baker until Tom Baker's been dead for a decade.
Which is just nuts.
Isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. According to this, it was Liam reported up to 2023.
We're in 2023.
Oh, sorry, 2033.
So yeah, we're well and truly having it until Tom Baker's been dead.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be 100 then.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's insane.
Let's see. You also have the War Doctor is ending after the 6th box set as...
I said that.
Yeah, you did.
Mm.
And
according none of you
to
buggers believe me.
Jonathan Carley is not happy about this.
Yeah, he's not at all.
Expand, Liam.
Just that our source says that it's just from what Jake was saying he's not particularly happy, but the writers believe that the range can no longer kind of be expanded upon, apparently, which I disagree with. But
see, I can actually kind of see that, because we talked about the War Master and how there's really no leading up to, the eventual, like, we're just doing War Master set now for the fun of it. The first box set was fine, and there's nothing new that you can do. We all know where this is leading us, and even though the past War Doctor box set has been phenomenal, the last one, I believe, I gave it like almost a near perfect 10. It was just that great.
Yes, you did.
We all know where it's going to be leading, and I think that is where they really are having a struggle. I was listening to Chris Gore on Film Threat talking about the Ahsoka series, and he was just like, I would like a Darth Vader series that Disney Plus would do, or Darth Vader movie. And then his co-host is like, well, it's good, but you also know how that's going to end. It can't change. Like, the best that you could do to kind of expand on that is kind of drop the latest sequels, and in episode 7, do a Han, Luke, and Leia with voice actors and de-aging and whatever, because that's the only way you can continue on with the story in a new direction.
Yeah, with those characters, yeah.
Yeah, with those.
I mean,
I'd just like to say, just going to throw my tuppence in here. Ahsoka is fucking amazing.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's so good. Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Good for you.
I mean, yeah, but this is what I don't quite understand. Okay, so they've done 6 box sets of the War Doctor, and they've gone, run out of ideas. But then they're on how many box sets of the War Master? They're going to be doing past 11.
Feels like 300.
They're going to be doing past 11, and they said that they're ending, after 11, and then rebooting it or doing new storylines from there. So how is it then that they can do 12 plus box sets of one character, but then they can only do 6 of another? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
And let's be honest, it's 12 box sets of one character with maybe 5 good episodes, if we're being if that. Out of 48, 5 episodes. Just over 10%. In fact, I'm being generous.
To me, in all honesty, I think if John Hurt was still with us, I think it would still be going, because his name would pull you into the release. Jonathan Carley as John Hurt as the War Doctor, I think that is the rough road. Similarly with Derek Jacobi, if he were to pass and he got replaced by somebody else, I feel as though that box set series would eventually just evaporate, because it is somebody playing the War Master. So I think that's what really hurts the War Doctor, that.
But the thing is, though, is that they're going to have to, but I'm sorry, but it's going that way. Doctor Who is 60 years old. They've got no other choice. Either they recast, or they don't make any more Doctor Who. Simple as that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are true with that. But we aren't happy unless it's... I mean, look at the Jonathan Noonan stuff. Look at the abuse that he's got. And he doesn't deserve it, because I think he's very
Steve
good.
Noonan.
Stephen Noonan.
No, I think he's good.
And his box sets, I can guarantee, sell less than the second Doctor box sets, because the second Doctor box sets have a synonymous name linked to them. It might not be Patrick, but it is Michael Troughton.
Yeah.
And it also, again, does whole season 6B situation, which a lot of fans are really into. And again, I think that's the difference between, the third Doctor box set is Tim Treloar, is not exactly John Pertwee, but it's a good enough job and classic. I think, and here's another reason why I think it's the War Master or the War Doctor is struggling, is because classic fans will jump on classic stuff because they love the original show. I think
Okay.
Just a second. Don't talk over me, please. It is, they love the original show. And I feel as though that there is a market from the first Doctor all the way up to the seventh Doctor. And then you could say that there's kind of like a little bubble encapsulating the eighth Doctor. And then everything else is a new series, even though the War Doctor is in, between 8 and 9, it's still part of the new series. And I think the new series fans, they want Matt Smith or the 11th Doctor. They want 10th Doctor, David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston. But I don't think they really care about the side characters like the War Master and probably, sadly, even the War Doctor. And the only person who I think has a future for ongoing box sets is going to be Missy, like for the new series.
So I think Missy, yes, is going to do box sets, continue doing them and doing them well, because it's a bit niche, isn't it? The Missy box sets, because yes, it's the Master, but it's the Master written very comedically. Now, the first series of the Paternoster Gang wasn't great. However, the trailer for the first part of series 2 genuinely sounded like it'd been cobbled together well, whereas all the others had just been cobbled together. This one sounded like it had some thought going into it.
Did you notice the reference? In Once and Future, they talk about the wedding that Vastra and Jenny had, and now in series 2, they're doing the wedding that
Vastra I did.
and Jenny are going to have.
So David Tennant's going to turn up at some point in that?
No. 8th Doctor.
No. Their wedding. They were like, yeah, we know you because you specifically turned up to our wedding.
Oh, okay. Right. I thought it was 8. Anyway.
But that's for a different podcast.
Yeah. But back to my point on the Doctors, you were saying, Brett, that, and both of you actually were saying that you don't feel that the first Doctor has had so many releases and whatever and has had quite a negative response. So then what is it about Tim Treloar that, the third Doctor has that the first Doctor doesn't?
Because
light at the end.
Well, I think it's more than just light at the end. I think what the third Doctor has with Tim Treloar is it has, and maybe I could be wrong. I'd like to hear both of your thoughts on this, but the additional pull, and the other reason why I'm kind of would rather them not do currently anything with Sarah Jane or with what's her face. I want third Doctor with Joe. I want Joe Grant, and I think it is Katie Manning is the additional pull because she's the only one currently that can pull people back into that time. Everybody else, Daisy Ashbrook, is playing her mom. You have the other one playing her mom. You have Tim Treloar, playing John Pertwee's third Doctor. He does a good job. It is not perfect, but it is good. You also have, again, John Colshaw doing a fantastic Brig. Like, if the Brig sounded as wonky as the guy who does Harry Sullivan, I don't think it would work. But John Colshaw is a really good Brig, and I think that with that, Katie Manning really kind of pulls in those fans, especially of the third Doctor era. And I think that's what the difference is. Whereas with you right now, we have 2 different first Doctor box sets. And I think Legion brought this up one time regarding the whole, what's going on with this and this, because you have the David Bradley one with the cast of people who look like people, but not really sound like people. Then you have the Stephen Noonan, who is now partnered up with Dodo. Stephen, the guy who plays Stephen is still alive. Use him.
Peter Purvis.
Yes, use him. We've talked about how Tom Baker is, recorded stuff enough for 2020 or 33. Well, if that's true, we have, you'll have a good audience going for the next 10 years on those releases. However, we're slowly losing all of these actors, and now we're getting supporting characters from people who kind of sound like them to those who kind of can do a passable accent, sort of. Because Ben, the guy who played Ben, really didn't sound like Ben. He just was able to kind of do a passable Cockney or whatever it is. Yeah, accent. And so I think that, the further we get from these original characters, Carol Ann Ford, like playing these roles, the further we get away from it, I think the further you're going to find people dropping off of a lot of these box sets, because now it is no longer the actor who played this position. It is the actor who's playing this actor who played this part. And I think that is the struggle that Big Finish is going to find themselves if they don't start using the classic actors who were originally in these roles.
Well, I mean, they've still got Caroline Ford. Why aren't they doing any more Seasons War? They've done one box set that was interesting because it was the last performance or acting performance really of William Russell in any kind of large capacity. But she's still around, so why not use her? And they've not tied her story off. They've not finished her story, so use her while you've still got the time, and if necessary, regenerate her further down the line. But at least use her. Same with Stephen, and Annika Wills on Polly, and Fraser. So I don't know. I mean, I do wonder about some of the decisions that the higher ups are making and some of the choices that they're pushing for box sets. I don't have an issue with Stephen Noonan. I think he's a pretty good first Doctor. A much better first Doctor, than David Bradley. Granted, David Bradley embodies some of Hartnell, but nowhere near as the amount as Stephen Noonan does. Which brings me on to the next point of apparently it was a bit of a fight to get Stephen Noonan in studio to do the last box set of First Doctor because he read a negative review online and apparently it's he's I guess stuck in his head and he's not so keen on doing the role now. So they're pushing all these box sets, but there's nothing to say that Stephen Noonan will come back as the First Doctor. So they have to decide what they're doing, really. I think. I think
as well as that, we're also going to get to a point where they're going to have to start offering refunds for the Sash Dhawan and the Joe Martin box sets.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they've not even been scripted yet.
Oh. Yeah.
Still.
So,
and let's face it, who actually cares about that era? No one.
The only way I can get
bothered
behind that era is what happened in the most recent Second Doctor box set where they're talking to Raven and she says that I can change you, I can do this. If that is where it leads, that is my only interest in the further Joe Martin, Ruth Doctor incarnation. If they cannot do that...
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because she was the best Doctor Who in the 13th Doctor era.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she was in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
What's it? Strax says, we know the floppy haired one with the bow tie.
We know
the grumpy grey one and the gurning blonde young boy. But I digress. The whole era it says something when in the latest annual, they basically said, you could believe this, or you could believe this. Take your pick.
Yeah, well, obviously what Legion's referring to is the Timeless Child storyline. They've basically said in the latest Doctor Who annual that, that yes, the Timeless Child.
Choose your own adventure.
Pretty much. The Timeless Child is true, but also the First Doctor is also true. So, yeah, literally take your pick. Which,
yeah, and
I
to
mean,
me, that's like I said on our messages when you shared that is the coward's way of trying to get both fandoms to appreciate what they love. They won't come out and make a decision because if they do resend the Timeless Child, I feel as though they're actually, and maybe I'm wrong, but the feelings that the Jodie fans or the Jodie bots might basically see that as a slight against her era and the era that they like, probably the only era that they watched, maybe even not that. But then you also have, if they don't say the First Doctor is the First Doctor, well, then you're slighting the larger majority of the fandom. And so it's now pick which one you like because whichever one you like is fine. Well, no. Put on your big boy pants.
It's like giving trophies to losers.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Put on your big boy pants, BBC, or whoever's in charge, and make a decision. Turn away the Jodie fans or turn away the majority of the fans.
They've basically just sort of said that, that the waters around the Doctor's origin is so muddy that they can't choose, and that's how it's going to be left, basically, which,
I was reading an interesting thing on, I follow the Merchandise Guide, which is a really good source for all your merchandise needs. They put all the press releases up and there's articles and there's like a forum where you can chat about them. They've been doing the 60th anniversary releases at Forbidden Planet.
Mm.
And somebody who used to work for Forbidden Planet's marketing team basically when they announced a load of stuff, they were like, oh yeah, so we were able to order this one in this quantity, this one in this quantity, and this one in this quantity. And they went, well, what about Jodie Whittaker? And they went, well, Jodie Whittaker and Joe Martin are in the same month. And we ordered double Joe Martin stuff because we knew it would sell.
Oh.
But they were like, but compared to Tom Baker and David Tennant, where we ordered about 10,000 of one product, we literally ordered 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
And then somebody was like, why are you being so candid? And he was like, because I don't work for them anymore and I don't, I'm not
affiliated with them.
Privy to an NDA.
Yeah.
Again, it just goes to show how much of a failure her era was, unfortunately. And
Yes.
Well, like I said on the previous podcast, it's not her fault. It is, but
partially her fault.
Well, no, should she have gone and done the, her own research and just kind of said, screw you. Yeah, that's on her. However, I think personally what needs to have happened is people are going to blame her for this crappy era. It is the man, we wish he was a myth, the infamous legend, Chris Chibnall, because all he cared about was making sure we have the first this, the first this, the first this, the first this writer, the first of this thing. And it was like, scripts be damned, plots be damned,
And
yeah.
Speaking of Chris Chibnall,
did you
see the podcast that I sent you where they
nope.
interviewed him?
I have not.
Do you know what else he brought us?
What?
Mm-hmm.
The first two-dimensional character who was even more two-dimensional than 1980s era Mel. In fact, he was so two-dimensional, he was one-dimensional.
What, you mean Ryan was flatlined? Jesus.
Yeah.
What you talking about, man? What are you talking about?
What is it?
I think that's like highly offensive, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to mess you up.
Just out of curiosity, did his his what do I want to say? Did his AMC show get canceled?
Don't know.
It got cancelled by AMC and it got picked up by another company, but with a massive budget cut.
Hilarious. Interestingly, get this, because the only reason I know about this Chibnall podcast was because I saw a video that Tharis posted, and he cut bits out of it and was talking about it and stuff. The interesting thing was Chibnall was saying that there believe it or not, there was going to be another Pating episode, if you can believe that.
Oh, the Revenge of the Pating.
And no. But guess what it was called?
The Pating Strike
Back. What the working title for it was?
A new Pating.
Nope.
Let's see. The Clone Pating.
Pating 2, the Patingening.
The Phantom Pating.
No.
The Pating Menace.
Attack of the Pating.
Nope.
Revenge of the Pating.
Nope.
A new Pating.
Nope.
Planet of the Pating.
The Pating Strikes Back.
I've already said that.
No,
sorry.
Legion.
The Last
Legion.
Pating.
No, Legion. You're
Rise of Pating.
No,
The Day of
Legion.
the Pating.
You're really overcomplicating this, and you're really thinking too much. Simplify it even more than that. Just
Pating.
Come on.
Pating, a Star Wars story.
No, it would not be that. It would be Pating,
No.
the lame story.
No,
Rogue Pating,
no,
a Star Wars
seriously.
story.
No, when I tell you, it's
Pating,
Yoda's
it's gonna
blow
brother.
your mind.
Go
It's
on.
gonna the second story was going to be called The Patings. I told you were being you were overcomplicating it. Yeah.
Remembrance of the
apparently
Pating.
it was gonna have. Oh god.
The
Oh
face
wait, it
of the
got
Pating.
TC'd. Thank God for that. Yeah, it was apparently going to have Trouble of Tribbles vibes. Apparently.
So
yeah.
I would just like to say, talking to Trouble with Tribbles,
Uh-huh.
the musical episode of Strange New Worlds
Don't care.
is one of the funniest
I don't want to
things
hear it. No.
I have ever seen.
I don't care. Because I know there's going to be a musical Doctor Who episode, and I'm already like, you know what? I'm turning to number one and saying, okay, set face to not interested, engage. And
Set phases to numb.
Yeah.
Or if we're going on a musical theme, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
No, I'm not.
Set phases to hum.
No. Oh, don't say sing, please. Anyway. Ting. Anyway, talking of Chris Chibnall, guess what? The guy had the audacity to come out and say that before his era, or basically before he did it, Doctor Who had never really done family before. And had never been about family. Yeah.
It's Russell T. Davis in the corner going, hold my beer.
I know.
Not only have I done family, I have done gay family, black family, white family, family, alien family.
Oh,
yeah.
And I also have done Christmas episodes for the family.
Yeah.
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 At home.
I know. And
That's a really awful Welsh accent, I know.
I know, stop it. Listen,
it's lovely.
We'll carry on, I'll let you in it. But the thing is it's not as even if Doctor Who hasn't done family in a classic series. Again, Tomb of the Cybermen, a bit with Troughton and Victoria in the TARDIS.
Oh,
I mean,
I was smart. I was like, oh yeah, when the family of Cybermen start coming out of their like little pods, yeah, that exactly. Family.
Yeah, that's family. It had a more
family that's
warm and fuzzy
converted
feeling than
together.
anything we had in the Chibnall era.
Yeah. I mean, what about all the Daleks? You know, they're all family, surely, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Santarans.
Yeah.
Family.
Socks again.
Bugger. But
I wanted a lava lamp. Do you know how difficult that is without arms?
But again, it's just the audacity of the guy. Doctor Who has never been about family before my era. Bollocks.
Well, I mean,
bollocks.
In all honesty, I mean, we did this earlier in previous podcasts and multiple podcasts, but either, and I've said this before, either he has such a massive God complex that he can't remember what he has said from one person to the next person.
Well played.
Or he doesn't think that anybody, like, he is the smartest person in the room and he's just surrounded by idiots, and whatever he says, people will believe. Like, he doesn't believe.
And he has come out on record and said that RTD's era will be better than his.
Oh, well, at least he's not that dumb. I mean, he is dumb, but I mean, not that dumb.
Yeah.
It says something when in the interviews before RTD came back on, people are like, yeah, he saw us at the NTAs, and, you know, he was like, why don't we get the old band back together? And I'm like, what do you mean, Russell? Well, you know, this is doing shit at the moment. This is what we could do better. What could we do better, Russell? Everything.
But it's just the audacity of the guy, isn't it? Just,
yeah. I mean, we should
mind.
Listen to that podcast and rip it apart, but...
oh, God, yeah.
I don't think I hate myself that much.
Some of the news about...
So other news that you have is...
James Dreyfus. Should we do Unit first, or should we do James Dreyfus? Because we were talking about Ben earlier.
Because I have one word to say about the James Dreyfus stuff, so...
Okay. Well, apparently...
Get it out of the way, Liam.
He wasn't, according to him, he was sacked by Big Finish, but apparently, according to, our source and Jake McGann, who actually apparently does all the extras of the CDs. He edits them all, apparently, and does a lot for them in that regard, which is interesting. So he isn't just, an actor. He does more for Big Finish than, I guess, what we realize, which is quite interesting.
So I blame him for his dad's audio in that one release. So this is all your fault, Jake McGann.
No.
Yes, it is. It is. I blame you. Okay.
He apparently didn't get sacked because, that's what he thinks. Actually, his contract just didn't get renewed by Big Finish. So that they basically decided to leave and not renew it. And it apparently was down to his behavior in studio.
An actor not behaving well? That's interesting.
It's not heard of.
I know.
No. Speaking of an actor not behaving well, however, John Barrowman will be back.
That's good news. I cannot wait.
That is good news.
To be on Twitter to hear all the wraiths start rioting and complaining, saying that they're never going to buy another thing from Big Finish, and then having never bought anything from Big Finish.
Yeah, well, that was apparently not down to Big Finish. Big Finish wanted to keep him on, but that was apparently a threat by the BBC, if you can believe it, that if they continued to write stories with Barrowman in and hire him, they would withdraw the license, apparently.
Are you telling me that an Axos type entity such as the BBC would dare threaten a company like Big Finish? I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're living in the same reality, sir.
Well, all realities are relative, aren't they?
That sounds like something from the Scary Door.
What else?
Unit and River Song.
They are ending, which again, not really surprising. Which basically goes to show that there are going to be spin-off series of River and Unit.
Well, it doesn't show that at all.
And Gemma Redgrave is being like, my iPhone is constantly recommending me stories featuring her in it, where she is being approached by many, many different sources and many, many different people trying to find out when the Disney Plus Unit, series is going to happen. And she's denying it, but she's not denying it at the same time.
Exactly.
Which means
so it's
basically
gonna be a thing.
It's going to be a thing.
Yeah. So that's why the River and Enid stuff is ending, because they've obviously been picked up by Disney Plus and obviously Bad Wolf Studios to do spin-offs, which I'd be interested to see if they use the Unit team that Big Finish started in Unit.
No.
Actually.
They'll use the ones that sell, which is Gemma Redgrave and Ingrid Oliver. So Unit's ending, River's ending. We could be getting a Disney Plus spin-off. We might not be, but we might be.
Yeah.
We will just have to wait and see.
And there's also the bit of news that obviously RTD is going to, he wants to have a more cohesive, quote-unquote, Hooniverse. So with
Good.
Big Finish and TV, which is about bloody time. So I'm all for that personally.
I mean, he's always been a supporter of Big Finish, hadn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, even now he's a supporter of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, what was it?
I can guarantee.
I was listening to the extras for the August release, and they sent him the scripts, and he sent them notes back. And I was like, I like that. I like that a lot.
He always did it.
Yeah.
During the first few years, he did it. It was him and Gary Russell who sent the notes back, which is ironic because Gary Russell started Big Finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee the Barrowman thing was done by the BBC when it wasn't RTD involved. It was the Chib era when they went a bit draconian.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Draconians.
And then Big Finish got the parasitic entity known as Nick Briggs. Anyway.
Do you know what? We slate Nick Briggs a lot. And yes, he has been there since God was a lad. But,
No, I don't.
Nope, help me out here.
I don't know.
No.
I see you said I know, and I'm like, I'm waiting. What do we know?
It's the same here.
I know.
I'm like,
I just realised this is the man that brought us Return to Telos.
Did you forget that? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I forgot that. No, give him his due. Give him his due. He has brought us the mainstay of Big Finish for the best part of 20 years. And it's not gone under yet.
And I'm not saying it hasn't.
But
and he hasn't. But
stop
it's
acting
time,
in everything.
Yeah, it's time you took a step back and just stuck to monsters, mate. Just stick to what you're good at. And I don't know, direct less.
What are you talking about?
Just
He's writing the Adventures of Charlotte Pollard Series 3, like tomorrow.
He's been writing that for 10 years. What are you writing, Nick? Oh, I'm writing my tax returns. Shouldn't you be writing this? No, I've owed this tax return for 20 years. They've told me if I don't get it back tomorrow, I'm going to prison. I don't want to go to prison. I'll have more time to write.
That'd be so funny. Jason Haig Gallery breaks into his house and steals his tax returns, and so Nick Briggs has nothing else to do but write for Big Finish.
Yeah. Just dangling them in front of him.
Little do we know he stopped writing in Big Finish, and all he's doing is just working out and getting ripped in prison.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So basically, what he's going to do if he does that, he's going to come out and look like a young Phil Mitchell.
Well, he's not young, is he? Let's be honest. He's older than Steve McFadden.
I did it like he's like in his early 60s or late 50s. Like 60s, I didn't know. Yeah, he's old.
Yeah. I can't believe Dave Richardson's in 60 as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have anything else? Because that's, I believe, everything from the Whooverville.
I believe so. There's nothing else.
All right. Yeah,
I was going to say, we're coming on to August. Who's listened to what in August?
I've listened to Once in Future in August.
It's not a lot. Once in Future.
I listened to Once in Future in August.
What else has come out in August? I started the final Torchwood release for Billis and put it down. I haven't gone back to it.
So, but before we get to August...
So we've done Once in Future.
Okay, before we get to August, I want to share something. So I, for the first time ever, commented on a Big Finish audio group. I've never commented on a single Big Finish
and I
listeners
wasn't.
group.
Is it the audio rather than listeners?
Yeah. So
and I wasn't there, but
yeah,
okay.
No, you were there.
What was the comment?
So it was fun because it kind of goes back to everything. And so somebody posted the prompt. I've noticed new box set arrangements for regular Doctor Who releases is getting mixed responses. So I want to ask this. What do people prefer? The original main range arrangement of having 3 4-part stories for each Doctor? Or are they happy with the new box set arrangement? And I was actually really surprised about a lot of people talking about how they like the new 1-hour box set for all of the Doctors. And I couldn't help myself. And so I replied to this. And I said, for me, it depends on the Doctors and their eras. When it comes to classic Doctors, I prefer the main range 4-part stories, as not only it is the majority of how TV episodes were done, and the trilogies were never a problem for me. And oftentimes the second story in the trilogy would only lightly be connected to the main trilogy story arc. When it comes to New Who Doctors, the current box set arrangement works, as TV episodes were usually 1 hour with an occasional 2-part 1-hour episode, which works in 3 to 4 story box sets. Additionally, I find it easier to get through monthly range stories each month over having 2 to 3 box sets, with each box set containing 3 to 4 episodes. And honestly, with the amount of box sets coming out, I'm picking up fewer than I want to now, and then tagging the majority of them for a wait for 50% sale to get later on throughout the up and coming years. And a lot of people actually liked what I put, so I was very impressed with me.
As a first comment,
yeah, that's my
a very
first
good
comment.
one.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, you should post more.
Yeah,
That cherry has been popped.
I know.
In a good way.
Well,
It sounds like it was satisfying.
it was. Not to be confused with the other group, because in fact, I'll do this and I'll give you like my brain sometimes works on the good side and sometimes it goes to the dark side. And when I read this, I nearly fell down laughing because of what my brain did. So with our friends from the Big Finish listeners group, the one that Liam is no longer a part of, said that this is how it starts. And my brain just added something else to it. So he begins by saying, my apologies if this isn't allowed.
If you have to preface the initial post with, I'm sorry if this isn't allowed, but...
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of onto a bit of a pattern emerging.
Yeah.
I think. And you're setting a precedent. Let's face it.
Exactly. Like, I almost want to go into the Big Finish listeners group and just every single time I comment on something, I'm not sure if this is allowed. You know, admin me harder, daddy. Come on, please. Like,
that's going to be the intro. And we lost Legion.
Of all the people to come out with something like that.
I told you.
Not you.
Sometimes my brain works on the good side and sometimes it comes on the bad side. And
his cherry really has been popped, well and truly.
Dirty boy.
You are welcome, Legion. You are welcome.
That's made my evening.
So now you're not going to look at a Big Finish listeners post the same anymore. Like now I hope that next time you read one, through your mind, you just hear, admin me harder, admin me harder.
Bend me over, bitch, and admin me.
Bend over and brace yourself.
So, for the August releases, we do have the Ninth Doctor Adventures, Travel in Hope, the Torchwood Sigil, the Once and Future Two's Company, and Diary of a River Song, Series 12, The Last Diary of a River Song, The Orphan Quartet, Time Slip, Volume 4, which when I saw that, I was like, oh, I thought they were only up to 2. Anyway, and then...
I was as well. I was like, when did they do 3?
July.
I was like, oh, July.
And then we finished the month of August off with the Sixth Doctor Adventures, Purity Unleashed. So...
Unbound?
Oh, Unbound?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Unbound.
Purity Unbound. Yeah. Sorry.
I've done Once in Future and Purity.
I've
done Once in Future.
I've just done Once in Future too. However, before we do that, we do need to jump in the TARDIS, go back in time, because I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it hasn't been done, but I believe we need to start off with Torchwood Among Us Part 3.
Oh, bollocks.
So we don't
Well, that's
start...
amazing that I went
What's
bollocks
more confusing
and
is
my
how
thing
the
went
hell did you
blink.
trigger your Lady A by saying the word bollocks? Like,
I
that's
have no
impressive.
idea. I genuinely don't know.
Brilliant. And see, this is why we should do a YouTube feed.
It's like, bollocks. Yes, the time is
Ba-ding.
10 o'clock. That's not what I asked.
So has this been listened to, or are we just gonna...
We'll just do Once in Future.
I've listened
I've
to
not done it.
but I have, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess
Once in
we'll
Future
just
then.
get to, just out of curiosity, whoops, that's this month. Somehow I got back to the current month. So here's what I plan. I'm going to throw this out there before we even really officially start August. And that is, I think when we do September's, I'm not listening to Doomsday Dying Hour. However,
No.
I will. Those heads are so horrible. Oh my gosh.
I want Liam to review
The last track.
Doomsday, The Dying Hours, but for each story, he's only allowed to listen to the first and then the last tracks.
You know I'm going to be listening to the final track of Rose Tyler Dimension Canon 3 to see if it ends
I know you are.
and Tennant turns up.
Yeah. All right.
So
So nobody has done the Ninth Doctor Travel and Hope.
Nope.
no,
All right.
I started it
and then
I got sidetracked and stopped and haven't gone back to it yet.
Torchwood Sigil, because I have not done
Just
that.
started it but stopped.
All right. And sounds like everybody's done Two's Company, and nobody's done
Yep.
Diary. And in fact, I have not done
No.
the last 2 diaries. So has anybody done Purity Unbound?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Well, let's get, how about you start us off, Liam, with the Sixth Doctor Adventures Purity Unbound, because I did find something that I do want to ask a couple questions about. This has 3 stories in it. It's The Girl in the Bubble by Jacqueline Rainier, The Corruption by Mark Wright, and The Wrong Side of History by Robert Valentine. So,
Oh God.
Good review, Liam.
I know, right? Girl in the Bubble is basically Hebe kind of stuck in her flat, and in this new kind of timeline / regime that McBride has sort of made, disabled people are kind of just sort of forgotten about, and like if you're lucky, squirreled away and hidden and given given a life, but they're basically just sort of not spoken about. Otherwise, they're just put in like care home type places, really, and it's all about Hebe kind of breaking out of that, and Dr. Mel investigating McBride and what she's doing in the timeline. The corruptions. Oh God.
Melanie Bush is a popular part of the Peace Peas Pottage Village community, and her best friend Hebe runs a local cafe.
This one was kind of gave me vibes of the Wrong Doctors. Bloody Peas Pottage song again.
Oh.
Anyway, it's back. It's Mel figuring out that she's stuck in this village that nothing really ever changes, and the Doctor is trying to break into the village, and it's like a barrier that he has to get through, and McBride is there, and
that is entirely the plot of the Wrong Doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird big reveal villain thing in the end is basically the end of the story. They get to this, is it ship or place? I can't remember. Anyway, they finally get to like McBride's HQ place, and the knights turn up again. What are they called? Those temporal knights.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? Vash.
They're like Time Lords, but not.
Yeah, they basically get unbanished and come back and try to take over, and then swiftly get banished again and screwed over, and Hebe stays with the Doctor and Mel. So,
all right. Yeah. So I ask you to discuss this because in the Big Finish audio group, because at Big Finish listeners group, only positive things can be said. It was asked, what was the final verdict? Sorry, Big Finish listeners group. Add me harder. What does the final? So it was asked, what's the final verdict on the Purity box sets? What happens with Hebe and Patricia? I'm curious. I can't afford the box set. Obviously, this post discussion is probably going to contain spoilers, so heads up for whatever. So it said the person
first comment,
first person.
Haha! I'm glad you asked. And Big Brother is watching you.
The first person came in and said, "I enjoyed it. The middle story was the weakest, but the wrap up of the whole Purity arc was nice." Patricia, exit. Hebe's still on board in the TARDIS. So then it was asked, what do you think about this post-Purity box set with the villain defeated? And some contributor says, I imagine that this TARDIS team will continue in 2025. And I think that's an interesting post right there, because this person is presuming that Hebe will not make an appearance in the Sixth Doctor, 40 part 1, 40 part 2 box set, which I'm actually all for.
I hope she doesn't.
No, I think it's going to be Constance, because they haven't done Constance in a while.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's going to be Katie Corner. I think we're going to have Perry, Mel, Constance, hopefully Flip.
Hopefully, yeah.
Charlie and Mel.
Yeah. So here's
maybe an appearance from Jago.
Do you know what was great? Speaking of Charlie, I listened to the Doomsday trailer to see how bad it was, and even a Charlie calls Doom a fool. It was brilliant.
So here's a question for you, Liam. So one of the people that was reviewing this and gave their thoughts to the person who posed this thread said, I find the finale rather undercut Purity from the story's perspective by sidelining her, and it doesn't make a satisfactory conclusion to her arc. Do you agree with that?
She kind of the reveal arc end bit was kind of a bit like they just kind of, the knights did just sort of appear from like literally nowhere, and then did what they needed to do, buggered up Purity's thing to a degree, and then got swiftly vanquished by the Doctor. Like, it did feel a bit quick,
Funnily enough, that is what happens when you compress what should be a 4-part story into 2.
So I want to get this broken down, and I'll explain after in just a little bit. So, Liam, Girl in the Bubble, out of 10, what would you rate it?
5? I mean, it was an okay story. It was very much of a character piece, but I'd say it was the strongest story out of all of the box set.
Interesting.
In a way.
Okay. So the second story, what would you rate? Let's see, just the Corruptions.
3. It was okay.
Oh,
and
it was just again, it was just recycled ideas and just a bit dull.
So what would you rate the final story?
And as long as I'll be happy if I never hear Peas Pottage Hot again in my lifetime.
Peas Pottage Cold.
Yeah, which I probably will do now, my sodding luck. And the last story, 4.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So I ask because I pulled up the timescales, and this is what, you kind of check out with what they did in a way. So Girl in the Bubble is rated currently at a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
The Corruptions is rated at 4.8 out of 10.
Ooh.
And The Wrong Side of History, the finale, is rated 5.7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
When timescales goes to town on it, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't.
It was just okay.
Yeah, it wasn't what I would call a satisfactory finale. It was just an okay wrap up, but it was nothing groundbreaking.
Which is actually, what is it? I've been talking with a couple.
We said before.
Yeah.
I think that's what. Sorry, that's what I think. The second box set was the best because it had historical elements. It weaved in historical events into the stories, and they suit the Sixth Doctor.
The second box set would have been better if they hadn't started it with Broadway Belongs to Me.
Sadly,
yeah.
And this question is a follow up on something that is already. So this has taken 3 years, right, to get this all cleared up with. Is that am I
2
right?
years?
2 years. Okay, so this has taken 2 years.
It just feels longer.
So Stranded took about 2 years to get that done, and with the
Did it? It felt like about 8.
Yeah. Well, I noped out after the first box set, and it felt like it was always there. But then we had the unit, the Volprene 4-part box set that did take 4 years to have it all said and done. Like, we're no longer doing trilogies from the main range, but now we're doing 4-part stories that are taking box sets. And I think you said it perfectly. Like, this should have been like 2-3 story arc. And this has been stretched out for 2 years in 3 box sets. And, you have Volprene, which is 4 box sets. Ouch. Volprene, 4 years, 4 box sets. And then, of course, you have
16.
Like, it's just like, I don't. Smart decisions are not being made. It is, if this is being made to save money, well, I think they're going to be finding that they're losing money because the reviews are not good. I was just checking it out and on Big Finish's website, and oftentimes there will be a review and award tab with somebody who has listened and reviewed this. I'm looking at Once and Future 2's company, and there is a reviews and award tab with a podcaster or, blogger who has given their thoughts and opinions on the whole thing. I go to the 9th Doctor Adventures. They have a reviews and award tab where somebody has, given good thoughts and, whatever. I go to Purity Unbound, and we just have the About tab, the Backstage pad, the cast tab, and the production credits. Like, that also speaks volumes, as well as the timescales not having a positive review. Like,
I think it's a damn shame that in the past 2 years, Colin Baker has been given such a shit hand.
Yeah.
He's clearly enjoyed doing the stories. He said he's enjoyed them himself, but the listeners haven't.
Well,
and he's done these 4 box sets, and then he's done everybody's favorite Unbound box sets, Doctor of War.
Well, and then what he did say in the special features in the Once and Future box set is he gets the stories, he reads stories that he likes, and then he reads stories that he has to do. And I was blown away when he said that. Like, that was like, I almost wanted to be like, so Colin Baker, we both of us share the same birthdays. Could you tell me what you think as a June 8th person to another June 8th person? Which scripts are not like the ones that you're really engaged in?
I want a list, a definitive list. I like lists. Oh. That would make a good birthday present for me on the 8th of June.
Exactly. All right. So going to, I guess, the last one that we're going to be reviewing for the month of August 2023 is Once and Future Two's Company. This is written by Lisa McMullen. This features Colin Baker as the Doctor, Camille Kaduri as Jackie Tyler, Michael Maloney as the Renegade, Christopher Naylor as Harry Sullivan, Michelle Ryan as Lady Christina, and Tim Treloar as the Third Doctor. I'm going to ask somebody start this because I'm not going to be particularly nice to this story.
It was okay.
It was okay. That's, I think, the best thing you can say about it.
Jackie kind of got a bit annoying at points.
Jackie got a bit annoying. Lady Christina got a bit annoying. They got Return to Telos. That's a winning feature of this story. You had the 2. I really liked the 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I thought the 2 was excellent because he was so petty.
I like the fact that the Doctor is still trying to change his future and saying, look, think about it. Change your future. You can change. And it's not going to happen. But
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is I was like, I'm curious if that actually happened. And, so as I was listening to this story, I was thinking about my rating. And I, as it was starting off, I'm like, it's definitely not a 10. Like, prove me wrong. But as I was listening to it, my rating just kept on getting lower and lower and lower. And just a second. So what bounced it up, at least a tad bit, was the actual Return to Telos moment, because what I really like is from the first Once and Future, we have a situation where Sarah Jane gets dropped off only to get picked up by the monk. And then, of course, we have the 10th Doctor meeting Sarah Jane years later, and this is never brought up. So my concern at the end of the day for Once and Future was all of this is Return to Telos, similarly to The Light at the End. The Light at the End, it was a long celebratory story where nothing happened because it was Return to Telos. So at least this is all going to happen, but the memories that the people have in going back to Kate and Osgood as well as Sarah Jane are going to be completely wiped out. And so I like that because it's not Return to Telos.
Yeah. So the stories do happen, but obviously the people in them don't remember the stories. The only person that remembers the stories is the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the fact that the question throughout all of this, that all the fans have asked, when he's regenerating, when he's degenerating, is the outfit changing? And yes, it is.
Yeah. I like that.
Which is ridiculous.
Which gets confirmed in the Martian Invasion of Planet 50.
Martian Invasion.
I wouldn't say it gets confirmed there. It gets confirmed here because he easily just is like, I wonder which one I am. And he's just like, oh, I love that. Look at my color.
I like that. I like this coat. Where you're like, but then there's still people going, so does the outfit change as well? Yes, it's been confirmed for 2 months now.
Well, and I want to say in the first story, it was, I think Osgood even referenced the scarf. So I feel as though it's been constantly confirmed, but I think it needs to every so often get revisited.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't find Jackie Tyler annoying, which I was very surprised by. The thing that really bothered me with this story was Lady Christina's placement. Like, this is...
Yes.
It just happened to be... It could be any cat burglar, but it had to be Lady Christina because we're celebrating this, the 60th anniversary.
And we have her character.
We have her character. And it annoyed me because they even spell out, as they're talking about this and that, they spell out the exact same plot line for Planet of the Dead on how Lady Christina is going to first meet the Doctor. And that just bothered me.
Yeah.
Because, and I would have actually preferred this, but it's not possible. I would have preferred, Jackie Tyler post knowing the Doctor as well as Lady Christina post knowing the Doctor, but it's not possible because Jackie Tyler's on Pete's world, not in this world, and so it can't happen. And so because of that, I'm sorry, Lady Christina, you don't get to play in this story. I just wish it was, Sergeant Benton, Captain Yates, somebody besides her.
Better.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, was anybody else really annoyed? They had a guest actor in and his microphone was terrible.
Oh, what, the auctioneer?
The auctioneer.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Dreadful.
Come on, guys, you can do better than this. Even Paul McGann, when he was using his crap microphone, sounded plausible. But this guy literally sounds like he's recording off his iPhone.
Yeah.
Not even his iPhone, his iPod, using his iPhone headphone microphone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In an echoey room that doesn't have echo.
In an echoey room.
I wish, because I was going to criticize this with the attack of, again, too many Doctor Who companions, people, personalities. But then as I was thinking back to the first episode obviously had the Doctor, it had Osgood, it had Kate, it had Sarah Jane, and it had the monk. And I'm like, as I was listening to
Rufus
this,
Hound,
I'm sitting there trying to figure out, why was that one so good? And they juggled all of those well. And this one just didn't work. Like Harry, I mean, the best thing you could say about him is he has been and always will be semi-naive. And it's like, okay, that's just Harry. Okay, but then you have the two, which was actually fantastic. But as I was listening to it, I would almost prefer, and I know it's a Doctor Who celebration, I would actually almost prefer a Dr. Light story and delve further into the 2 or the 1 or the 3 or whatever. And then
I want to see the 6.
Yeah.
I reckon we get some dark stories with the 6.
I found this very not good.
It's just run of the mill. It is.
It's very run of the mill.
Once and Future so far has, for the most part, been, unfortunately, just run of the mill. There's been some pretty good standout stories. I had to re-listen to the Martian invasion of Planetoid 50, but the 2 stories that I've really, really enjoyed so far have been A Genius for War and the Martian invasion of Earth of Planetoid 50. The Martian invasion of Planetoid. That one.
Once again, Liam, with feeling.
Yeah.
The 5 people you kill in Middlesbrough.
Indeed. Well done, Lige.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think those 2 have been the standout releases, but the rest has just been, well, there's been no clear direction. It's just sort of meandered on and you know, bar the line at the end of Two's Company of, oh, I've got to go to such and such a system.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually no point in listening to the story because nothing happens.
Well, and here's the other thing. This is one thing I did really enjoy is, and this goes to a previous criticism that you had about some of the Once and Future where the Doctor's constantly degenerating from the, first Doctor, second Doctor, third Doctor, going back and forth. This, at least we have, and we're starting off with the third Doctor. He's steady, and then he regenerates in front of, or degenerates in front of Harry, which was nice. Instead of a constant flipping back and forth like a TV station, just staying on the third Doctor until he degenerated to the sixth Doctor. I thought that was a really lovely setup, and it wasn't because, again, I agree but disagree. I've not listened to Planetoid 50 yet, but I agree.
Oh, it's a good one.
The Once and Future Genius for War is the perfect story. The first one with Tom Baker and the monk is just as good. Not perfect, but like up there with at a 9.5 or so. And what I like about this one and this one compared to, and I know, Legion, you like the one with the Fifth Doctor and Jenny. The reason why I like this one, and at least part of its approach, is at least we started off in a situation that just didn't like throw us in the middle. I'm still irked that Jenny and the Doctor were already together, and there wasn't a previously and catching up and, ooh, hey, you happen to be here, I happen to be here too. Like if it was a coincidence that Jenny, got a note similarly to how the Doctor got a note here, and that's how he met up with Jenny, that would be fine. But we were just thrown in mid-adventure in the second story, and it never was really clear. And you had to remind us that with the previous story where Jenny was there, that she hadn't forgot who the Doctor was, because I forgot that, and they didn't remind us. And so I've always kind of had a problem with the second story, and this one, I think this is even harder to like, because in all honesty, I think Lady Christina drags this episode down.
Drags.
No,
how?
I know what you mean. I very much know what you mean.
In what kind of context?
She doesn't fit the story.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And I mean, like, where is she based? Because I didn't think she was based in London. I thought she was off doing her own thing, honestly.
Well, I mean, again,
like
it would be fine. I would totally be fine with this if this was Lady Christina post Dead Planet or Planet of the Dead, but it's not. And so we have somebody who set Jackie Tyler up to meet her, to set this whole thing in order. And it's just like, well, why? Again, why her? Why not somebody from UNIT? You know what? Let's just say Osgood is like, UNIT's Q type of a person from James Bond. I would probably kind of be irked by it, but that makes more sense than this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh, sure. I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Jackie Tyler was actually, to me personally, like the best part about this episode. And again, just kind of like what you said about Colin Baker. Like I have not listened to Colin Baker release forever, since, the first Purity box set. I've noped out of all of them. I have no regrets. I was actually looking forward to this. Again, my birthday buddy. And again, he has just been given a horrible script. This is not good.
No. It's average. It's just average.
Yeah, average.
And I agree with Liam. The best stories that we've had so far are Story 3 and Story 5.
Yep.
You no longer love Story 2?
I love Story 2. So for me, it goes Story 5, Story 3, Story 2, Story 1, Story 4.
Yeah.
I still say Genius for War is better than Martian Invasion, personally. I mean, it's good. Don't get me
That's
wrong,
fair.
but I still say it's better.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's very fair.
I haven't listened to Planetoid, and
opinions
Genius
are
for
subjective.
War is perfect.
Yeah, of course.
Genius 4 is perfect. Genius 4 is very, very good. But in my eyes, Planetoid 50 is also perfect. It's fun.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely got a different tone. Genius is obviously a lot darker, but Planetoid 50 is genuinely fun because you've got the kind of comedy of the Paternoster gang with 10 and the banter between 10 and Missy, and it does work. So I can see why you like it.
Not looking forward to listening to this.
So.
Genuinely,
Pasternoster and fun don't equal each other.
Don't patch it in with the Paternoster Gang series.
See, I was thinking about this while I was on my walk, and because I'm 100% out of the second series of Pasternoster Gang, and here's my problem. Vastra is not likable. She's not. She's not likable, and she complains about people as being racist, and she's equally as racist. Her people are even worse than her, and Strax is essentially brain dead. So he has nothing. The best character is Jenny. Kick the other two out. Let's have Jenny meet whatever doctor and maybe Jago. I would sign me up for that. I'm fine with that. But it is two of the three I cannot stand.
That's fair. That is fair. I think that's why, because they're trying to soften the characters very much so and make them better. So it sounds like in Series 2, Strax still is the comedy factor, but is a bit more competent. Vastra is a bit more likable. And then they've gone, how can we pull listeners in? I know, let's bring some side characters in from Jago and Litefoot.
Because, Strax was getting competent towards the end of the box set, of the first box set of the first series of the Paternoster Gang. So, when he was teaming up with Jenny and doing stuff, But no,
There is one bit in the trailer that it's so stupid, but it made me laugh out loud when I heard it.
Mm.
And it's, we must pursue them. Let us run. Strax, it's the other direction. Yes, but I've started, and when I've started, it's very difficult to turn.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
it's childish, I know.
It is a good line.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad that they've got Ellie in it. And
yes.
I said this to you on...
we were saying the other day.
On the phone.
They need to get Quick.
Quick and Cotton. I think that would be a good interplay.
And Aubrey.
Yes.
And then what they ought to do, because we know from the history, the Jago and Litefoot series, is they ought to have some sort of time anomaly where they get the young Jago and Litefoot from the past and replace old Jago and Litefoot with young Jago and Litefoot. That could carry on with the Blake Ritson as Litefoot, and I can't remember the other guy as Jago.
Well, for a while at least.
Yeah, they could bring Jago and Litefoot back. The golden age of spin-offs at Big Finish.
I can see that. I can see that being a limited number of box sets, for sure. But why not?
But if they can bring back the gold that we had with Jago and Litefoot, Jago and Litefoot was very much in the world of Doctor Who, but it could also stand on its own 2 feet. It's the only box set, it's the only series besides Benny that has made it past 12 box sets.
Well, don't forget the Warmasters are going to do that as well.
Yeah, but that's just, they're selling on the name of Derek Jacobi.
Yeah, I know.
Jago and Litefoot sold for its
uniqueness.
It's sold for its story. And let's be honest, when it got stagnant, they went, how can we change this? I know. Let's take them out of London.
Yeah.
And they put them on a cruise. And then they went, let's do some more weird and wonderful sci-fi things. Let's get them traveling through different dimensions. And then, it would have been so cool if we had it in live, full cast. Jago and Litefoot versus the
Eminence.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I know. That series didn't work as books.
But
I will tell you, my favorite thing is Liam calling that the 8th Doctor was going to be in the entirety of the Pasternoster Gang Volume 1 of the second series. And I've just done a complete read-through of the synopsis, and he's only tagged for the last story.
I never said that at all. I
believe we got into
No, I said that he might be a bigger part going forward, but not in the first box set.
That's not what you said.
Because that's what I was talking about.
No.
No, that's what we got in the WhatsApp thing.
Uh-huh.
You were like, he's not only going to be in the third episode, he's going to be in the first one.
Yeah. And I was like, no, he's
like,
going to be in one story.
No.
Similarly to how he was in the War Master box set.
Yeah, but I never said he wasn't going to be. Yeah, but I never said that he wasn't going to be in more than one story. I knew he was in one story.
I said he was going to be in one story in this box set, and we were never going to see him again because it was a way to get people to buy it. Similarly to what they did with the War Master, where they got him in about 1.5 stories, and then the next box set they brought in the 10th Doctor for about the same amount of time. So I'm just going off of, my prediction is basically going off of the precedent set by previous box sets.
The key selling factor, you might say. In fact, do you know what? Do you know what? This is how they're going to introduce, because obviously Jake Dugman's left. This is how they're going to introduce
Matt Smith.
I'd love that if they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't. Matt Smith's far too big an actor. And if the rumors are true, he's going to be an even bigger actor.
Yeah, with stretchy arms.
With not just stretchy arms, but stretchy everything.
Yeah. And an invisible wife or girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one of those.
But no, I don't know.
I've had several.
I don't know what they're going to do for the ongoing new series, because I mean, as I said before, 11th Doctor and stuff hasn't come aboard yet, and neither's 12. So I think they're going to be pretty limited.
DT's getting older, so at least he's a very much in demand actor, but he's got a family and he will always stay around them.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to, we've been talking about this and that and the other. What is your rating for Doctor Who Once and Future 2's Company?
6.
4.5.
Ooh. So me and Liam were I almost was at a 4.5, but the degeneration that is going to be, that is going to resolve the Sarah Jane thing, the Kate and Osgood thing, and then this, when it got brought up here, I was like, okay, I like this more now. So because of that, it actually changed my overall review for this box set. I was going to be it was 4.5. It was funny. I was listening to it, and as I'm going, so now it's a 7. All right. So now it's a 6. Okay. Now we're at a 5. Oh, we're at a 4.5 right now. Then they do that, and I'm like, okay, 5.5. That is my rating for 2's Company.
5.5.
Yeah. All right. Just looking ahead to September, as we are recording this in mid-September, we have Liam's favorite track coming up in Rose Tyler Dimension Canon 3. There is the 5th Doctor Adventures in the Night, Luther Arkwright, Heart of Empire, which is funny. I bought that physically through Big Finish. I don't own the download on the app. I just have the CD.
No.
Interesting. Then it is Once and Future, Planetoid 50, or Invasion of Planetoid 50, Torchwood Dog Hop, and then Gallifrey War Room 2, Maneuvers, and Survivors, New Dawn, and then it's going to be a race. It'll be interesting to figure out which one of the final tracks is the best on Liam's favorite last track. Will it be Rose Tyler Dimension Canon 3, or will it be Doomsday Dying Hours?
Oh.
Stay tuned, folks.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess with that, unless there's anything else.
Yep.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.
I will tell you, if you listen to the most recent podcast, I get a little mushy. So it might either make you vomit or sad. So, yeah.
What do you get mushy about?
You, my friend.
Oh, this is where you're really insulting, isn't it?
No.
No.
No?
No. No.
Oh my God, I'm going to go listen to this. So there's no greater gratification than self-gratification.
Just out of curiosity,
Legion
Liam,
would know.
What are your thoughts of what I did for that podcast?
You didn't include the trailer.
I know, but besides that.
That's what I tuned in for,
trailer?
God damn it.
Oh.
Anyway.
We watched the trailer.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm hearing of a trailer. I need to hear this trailer.
Thieves! Anyway, yeah. No, you were perfectly adequate in your praise, so it was fine.
What's this trailer? I'm intrigued.
It's the trailer for
The Linda trailer.
The Linda trailer. I forgot to put it in.
Because
what I did, I'll give you
trailer.
What I did is, because we've been talking about live streaming, I asked ChatGPT to give me, let's see, let me look at the prompt. It says, here it is. So the prompt is, create a list of 20 YouTube chat names with statements and questions that would be done during a live stream discussion reacting to the Doctor Who story at Love and Monsters. So
Some of the responses are ridiculous, aren't they?
So I did some that were.
I love Sarah Jane in Love and Monsters. Where the hell was Sarah Jane?
Like, come on. It's like Liam has wrote the questions.
Piss off.
And so I did that, and then